Title of that video, Caitlin Clark flirts with a triple-double. Well, the regular season is here, and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business. And Caitlin Clark handled her business game 1. 20, 10, and 10. 20, 10, and 10. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, what did the kids say? Belt to ass. Oh yeah. La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
If this doesn't strike fear in y'all heart, I don't know what will. All right? All right, Caitlin Clark, triple-double getter, man. Love it what she was doing out there.
Caitlin Clark just posted a triple-double, dominating the Chicago Sky and nearly doubling their points, while effortlessly knocking Angel Reese's confidence. After a quick tactical foul, Reese erupted, throwing a tantrum like a spoiled child. Did Clark single-handedly shatter the game and test Reese's patience in one moment? Absolutely. This wasn't just a game, it was a warning. Don't mess with Clark. Stay tuned, because this drama is more intense than a WNBA scoreboard meltdown. Clark's performance wasn't just impressive. It sent a clear message that she's a force to be reckoned with, on and off the court.
Yeah, Caitlin and Aaliyah, can you kind of go through the little issue there, what happened when you got the flagrant, Aaliyah, you got a technical? What kind of happened there?
If you got the tech?
I know. Wait, what?
I got the tech?
I didn't know that.
Oh, first of all,
I know.
let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened after. You know, we watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul to put them at the free throw line or rather give up 2 points. You know, I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to.
I mean, listen, the Indiana Fever just completely decimated the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark owned Angel Reese for the second time in a row. She ruined Angel Reese's Barbie night, and she ruined Angel Reese's season opening. Now I'm talking about Caitlin Clark came out looking like an MVP / Defensive Player of the Year candidate. A lot of people called me crazy, but it is what it is. I'm pushing that envelope this season.
It's ironic, really. All the trash talk, theatrics, and hair flips, but when you poke Caitlin Clark, the bear with a basketball and a score to settle, you better come prepared. TikTok dances and Twitter shade aren't enough. This time, Angel Reese was not just silenced, she was completely overwhelmed by Clark's dominance. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever took over the game, leaving the Chicago Sky in the dust like they were cleaning up a spilled Gatorade. The final score? 93-58. And no, that's not a typo. It was a basketball blowout. A full-blown chaos on the court. Clark's performance wasn't just impressive. It was a clear message. Don't poke the bear unless you're ready for the consequences.
Bro, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever just beat the brakes off of Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky for the season opener.
I mean, they beat them by 30-plus points.
And not to mention, Caitlin Clark got her third career triple-double. First game of the 2025 WNBA season, and she gets a triple-double. The Indiana Fever are already looking better than last season.
Let's go back to what really unfolded. The Indiana Fever came out energized, as if they'd been drinking straight espresso for days, while the Chicago Sky looked lost, like they'd wandered into the wrong gym. At the center of it all was Caitlin, I don't need your subdivation, Clark, who seemed to decide she was done playing nice. She was on a mission to dominate, pulling off dazzling crossovers, slick assists, and deep three-pointer. Clark's relentless performance showed she was ready to take over the game, proving once again why she's a force to be reckoned with on the court.
Wow, I didn't think this was gonna happen. I thought, you know, this one's gonna be a battle. This was gonna be a battle, you know. The Sky looked really good in preseason and all, and I mean, for the likes of Kia Nurse, it's really easy to shoot in preseason, I guess, for Kia Nurse. Normally they call Kia Nurse the greatest May shooter of all time. This was a beat.
A triple-double? Absolutely. Why settle for just scoring when you can do it all? Rebounding, assisting, defending, and still find time to ignite your loudest critic into an emotional frenzy? Now we reach the moment where Angel Reese, playing the villain in Caitlin Clark's story like she's auditioning for a petty reality show called Basketball the Drama, decided to confront Clark. Her bold move added fuel to an already fiery rivalry, turning the game into more than just a contest. It became a spectacle of attitude and audacity.
By the way, Caitlin Clark, a triple-double, 20 points, 10 assists, 10...
And the Indiana Fever absolutely demolished the Chicago Sky. Final score 93-58. This was, Yolanda, yes. Horrible game, flat out embarrassing. Yes, for the Chicago Sky, absolutely. This was terrible. Absolutely. This was terrible. Not terrible. This was a terrible game for the Chicago Sky. Horrible. Horrible basketball that we witnessed. But while we saw terrible basketball on one side, we saw a very, very good team that's not even at their ceiling yet in the...
That's right. Instead of focusing on defense or perhaps trying not to be down by, say, 35 points, Angel Reese chose the path of tantrums and finger-pointing. A clever, gritty foul by Clark, something true athletes recognize as smart play, sent Angel into a tailspin so intense you could almost hear her agent whispering, "Just smile and wave, Angel. Smile and wave." But Angel didn't listen. She opted for what she believed was a statement, though the only message anyone received was, "Wow, Caitlin Clark lives rent-free in this girl's head." Now, let's break down the so-called confrontation. Imagine Angel Reese, brimming with righteous indignation, stomping over like someone just dissed her playlist, trying to channel vintage 90s NBA beef, but without the credentials, stats, or victories to back it up. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark? She barely blinked, more annoyed that Angel interrupted her jog back to the bench than anything else. And Clark's cool demeanor only made the drama even more bizarre, highlighting the stark contrast between the two players' attitudes and adding fuel to the fire of this already fiery rivalry.
This app finna be uglier than Asia Banks. Now, this is the play right here that everybody is talking about. Watch Caitlin Clark. She want all the smoke. Watch this. Watch this. One more time.
Wide
One more
open.
time.
You knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that foul.
Caitlin Clark ain't playing.
Wide
Look at
open.
this.
You knew that Caitlin Clark
Look,
was going to come in and take that foul.
Oh my God, that is
Wide open.
Let's be honest, if you're going to throw shade, maybe pick your moment more carefully. Doing it while trailing by a margin usually reserved for early season blowouts isn't exactly the best look. This wasn't just a defeat, it was a televised meltdown. Throughout the chaos, Caitlin Clark managed to appear as the only mature presence in the arena, while Angel Reese was out there delivering what looked like emotional slam poetry in real time. The real spark came from Caitlin's strategic foul. Clark's basketball IQ is so sharp it probably qualifies her for Mensa. She saw an opportunity, made a foul that practically shouted, "I understand strategy," and in that instant everything seemed to tilt, at least in Angel Reese's world, where her grip on composure appeared more slippery than a greased pig at a county fair. Angel didn't just react, she overreacted, as if someone had just spoiled the ending of her favorite show. The theatrics, gesturing, stomping, jawing could have earned her the league MVP for drama alone. It's almost impressive how many emotions she cycled through in just 30 seconds. Anger, confusion, denial, a dash of theatrical rage. It was like a WNBA soap opera nobody asked for, unfolding right in the middle of a high-stakes game. Her antics only fueled the fire of the rivalry, turning an intense matchup into a spectacle of emotion and spectacle.
Final against the Chicago Sky, and it was the worst nightmare that the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese could have possibly imagined. Angel Reese, boy, she's ate up with class, is she not? Wow. Standard operating procedure foul. ESPN, your anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display. Going on and on about how that needs to be a flagrant foul. You didn't say a word about a flagrant foul prior to going to break.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark simply kept her head down and kept playing. She was in triple-double mode, racking up points, assists, and rebounds with effortless precision. While Angel was busy throwing her tantrum, Clark was busy dishing out assists, draining threes, and making defenders look like they belonged in the background of her highlight reel. By the time the final buzzer sounded, with the scoreboard reading an overwhelming 93-58, the only thing Angel Reese had managed to do was guarantee her own moment of humiliation would be replayed in ultra-high definition on every sports broadcast for the next 2 days. And the irony? The same Angel Reese, who spent months building her brand as the ultimate Caitlin Clark foil, now headlines a story titled, "The Girl Who Couldn't Handle It." Turns out, swagger without success just looks like bad acting. Let's break down the stats, because unlike facial expressions and cryptic tweets, they actually tell the story. Caitlin Clark posted a triple-double, dominating in points, assists, and rebounds. A feat akin to baking a 3-tier wedding cake while simultaneously doing your taxes and winning a chess game. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, she had not much. Instead, she witnessed one of the most humiliating blowouts her team has suffered all season. Rather than trying to rally her team or change the momentum, she chose to stir up unnecessary drama. That was a critical mistake, one that only added fuel to the fire of her team's defeat and her own mounting reputation.
Catching around that 15-foot area. Clark
connects! The first logo bomb of the season from Caitlin.
The Fever didn't just defeat the Sky, they thoroughly dismantled them. This was a masterful display from start to finish, a true wire-to-wire performance that showcased everything, right? Sharp offense, tough defense, and relentless energy. Leading the way was Caitlin Clark, who, despite the critics, continues to show up, deliver, and silence doubters with her consistent excellence. Her performance was a reminder that she's more than just talk. She's a force to be reckoned with, making her loudest critics fade into the background of her victory celebration. Meanwhile, Angel's meltdown wasn't just about one foul. It was about a crushing loss. She watched her team's hopes evaporate and the narrative shift from, "We're gonna prove her wrong," to "We just got overwhelmed and obliterated." The Caitlin's overrated hype train can only run so long before reality hits hard, and when it does, it hits like a full corner press. Caitlin didn't need to say a word. Her performance, along with the scoreboard and the stats, did all the talking. As for Angel Reese, she tried to speak, but all anyone heard was the echo of 58 points ringing in the background.
That she gets her third triple-double of her career, which is absolutely wild. She went back in, unlike Christy Sides. Steph White put her back in, and I get if she had gotten hurt, people would have been going crazy. But 2 reasons, really. Caitlin Clark wanted to make sure DeWanna Bonner got to third all time, wanted to make sure she got those 2 final points to move into third, and she was 1 rebound short from, yes, a triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Shot 6 of 13 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, perfect from the line, 4 of 4. Oh, by the way, 2 steals, and oh, by the way, 4 block shots, which lead the team because only of Boston.
It's quite amusing how this rivalry started with playful hand gestures and trash talk, and now, at least for this chapter, it's come to a close with one player solidifying her status as a generational talent, while the other seems to be auditioning for the Real Housewives of mid-court. Angel Reese entered the scene with swagger and confidence, but she left with a bruised ego and a hard dose of reality. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, arrived with a clear game plan and left with yet another impressive accolade added to her already stellar resume. Despite all the chatter about her not being physical, gritty, or built for the W, she's out here making seasoned veterans look like they're moving in slow motion. She absorbs hits, dishes out her own, makes smart tactical fouls when needed, and still walks off the court with a smile and a box score that seems straight out of NBA 2K on rookie mode. Angel tried to rattle her, but in the process, she only rattled herself, her teammates, and perhaps even the very definition of composure. And we can't forget that priceless moment when the confrontation happened. Caitlin simply kept moving, unfazed. No retaliation, no dramatics.
Halftime. Guys, this game, this is what a sellout looks like. 17,274 fans, and it was fully sold out. It was packed. This game was not close, folks. 93-58. And my God, by the way, Dave Portnoy won $350,000. He placed a $25,000 bet on a Caitlin Clark triple-double right before tip-off, and he won $350.
What's even more entertaining is how Reese's fans are now scrambling to rewrite the story on social media. Suddenly it's all about protecting black women or fighting for respect or whatever the latest version of deflection and outrage happens to be. But here's the reality. You can't play the villain and then be surprised when people respond with boos. You can't trash talk, mock, and provoke, then get upset when the person you targeted comes back and outperforms you so convincingly that even her coach probably needed a timeout and a juice box. Caitlin Clark's triple-double will now be remembered, not just as a remarkable statistical feat, but as the defining moment when the so-called rivalry became a one-sided dominance. Because true rivalries require fierce competition. What we witnessed was Caitlin Clark devouring Angel Reese's lunch, dinner, and emotional support snacks. There's something poetic in that. The girl many said couldn't handle it just outplayed, outsmarted, and outclassed the player who's been loudly proclaiming, "I am it," from every rooftop. While Reese garners headlines for her post-game theatrics and locker room sulking, Caitlin Clark is making history, etching her name into the record books.
I'm no mathematician. 35 points, nasty work. Nasty. Back-to-back quarters with 13 points. Couldn't even get a quarter over 18 points. Oh, Chicago Sky, I had you overrated. Oh, how I overestimated what I would see from the Chicago Sky. The Indiana Fever took care of business today. We wanted to open out the season, start off the season, letting everybody know this is a new team, and we have one goal. Did we play our best game today? I would say we didn't. The fact that we didn't play our best game and we still destroyed the Chicago Sky, gotta feel good about that.
Next time Angel Reese wants to confront someone, she should probably start with her own stats or the scoreboard. While she's busy throwing sideline stares and engaging in post-game theatrics, Caitlin Clark is quietly rewriting history with her triple-double, stacking up numbers as if it's just another routine day. Let's be real. Reese may talk a big game, but if you're bringing the drama, you better also bring the performance. 4 fouls and a stat line that reads like a disappearing act? Don't cut it. And honestly, Reese's physical presence was undeniable, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, not so much. She appeared more focused on flashing for the cameras than locking down defensively, which was almost non-existent, or actively helping Clark's highlight reel. Clark didn't just have a good game, she ran a clinic, dissecting every defensive rotation Reese's team failed to execute. The pick and roll was a horror show, and help defense was more like a game of hide and seek, losing badly. Clark dominated every aspect of the game, showing who truly owned the court. If Reese wants to be taken seriously, she needs to elevate her game beyond the theatrics and focus on improving her performance.
She went 6 for 13, 4 for 8, shot brilliantly from the floor, brilliantly. Started slow a little bit, but picked it up and looked phenomenal. 4 for 8 from the 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
While Reese was busy trying to play the enforcer, Clark was effortlessly slicing through the defense with the finesse of a concert pianist. Smooth, precise, and relentless. Angel Reese didn't get confronted by Caitlin Clark, she got exposed. On both ends of the floor, the difference was glaring. And honestly, it's no longer surprising. Clark keeps showing up like the final boss in a video game. And every time Reese attempts to step up as the hero, she seems to crumble and fade by the third quarter. It's almost poetic. Reese, the self-proclaimed queen of the clapback, was outplayed, outclassed, and outperformed by the very player she's been trying to troll since the 2023 NCAA tournament. Clark didn't need to say a word. Her play spoke volume. Her jumper was like a TED Talk in motion, showcasing her dominance. The stat sheet confirms it, a triple-double. Meanwhile, Reese's line looked like a cold front, empty. Filled with missed opportunities and zeros, highlighting the stark contrast in their performances.
So I rewatched the entire game on like double speed, and this was the welcome to the WNBA moment for Tyler Marsh. This was the welcome to the WNBA moment for Tyler Marsh, and I've got to be honest, it's a tough one. It is a really, really tough one because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are in fact one of the tougher teams to game plan for.
Let's talk about composure. Caitlin Clark played with the calm of a seasoned pro, staying cool under pressure and letting her game do the talking. Meanwhile, Reese looked like she was auditioning for a soap opera. Dramatic, confused, and overly fixated on side plots rather than the game itself. The main stage belonged to Clark, who once again stole the spotlight. But perhaps Reese can find some solace in knowing she gave Clark one of her easiest triple-doubles to date. That might sound like a small win, but honestly, it's nothing compared to the bigger picture. The only headline that truly matters is Caitlin Clark fights back and silences Angel Reese. And Reese couldn't handle it. Everything else is just background noise. Empty gestures, hollow confrontations, and theatrics that fall flat. Next time, instead of carrying a grudge into the game, Reese might want to bring a solid strategy, or at least a plan to defend a simple pick and roll. Because if you're going to play the villain, you better come out with a win. Otherwise, you're just another subplot in Caitlin Clark's highlight reel. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.